Good evening, LinkedIn family and friends. Wanted to do a quick update of some work we were working with a brand today. I'm going to try to keep this to 3 minutes and try to minimize the number of ums. So with that being said, I wanted to showcase as brands are seeking growth, they're seeking to know where to go hunt for volume. And as brands are scaling and channel disruption and management becomes a thing that's at the forefront of brands' minds, I wanted to provide some context for the work that we're doing with some other brands as they're looking for opportunities to go hunt for volume and grow their business profitably and sustainably. In this case, we're going to talk about a brand that's about $9 or so in aggregate $1 million on Amazon. And we've identified about $7 million of opportunity that could be had. One, from displacing third-party volume, and two, from optimizing current content, which we'll show in a moment. So this particular brand was about $9 million. However, on the company's internal P&L, if you will, you would only see $4 million because $5 million of that brand is third-party sellers. Many vendor central brands aren't aware of the scale of volume that is happening in the third-party marketplace. I think everyone knows, I think I said this in maybe one of the other videos, but Amazon is about $250 billion business, retail, give or take, and approximately 1/3 of that are first-party sellers, vendor central sellers, big brands. 2/3 are third-party marketplace sellers. So many that are on the 1P vendor central side, quite honestly, are not aware of the actual volume that's happening on the other side of the fence. In this case, to go a step further, we've got $9 million of volume. The brand that we're working with has about $4 million of that, $5 million of that, so almost double or almost slightly more than that brand has is happening in the third-party marketplace. So we also looked at item count, we looked at quantity of reviews, and we looked at review rates. So we'll go a step further here in a moment. What we did, we laid out the top 3 items, which accounted for almost 3/4 of the sales. And of the volume, or of these items, only one of the 3 are first-party volume. So if you're a first-party seller, this is an immediate opportunity for you to recognize, hey, I really would like to have the third-party volume. What do I need to do to access that? So we'll go into that quickly. So in this case, what you see here is on the Amazon column side, 4.1 down to 0 million. And you've got green identifies the first-party volume. So in this particular instance, this brand had $1.7 million of first-party volume. But what the brand was not aware of is that 4.1 million of that for the number 1 item was third-party volume. 1.1 million going down on the 3rd row is third-party volume. So when we look at the column in red, the objective if you're a vendor central first-party seller is to move that to green, obviously. That for this particular brand would have been an increase of $5 million. And if you recall, the brand was about 4 million of first-party volume. The second thing that we're helping brands do is identify, okay, aside from a 3P to 1P shift, what can I do in terms of my content? And in this case, we help the brand to work through what's the health of the content. And if you look at the second item, 1.7 million, the content was really not optimized. So by that, you see imagery, copy, enhanced brand content. You might have had one image. You might have had some less than stellar content that did not really resonate with the brand that perhaps was wanted. It might have been written 5 years ago when Amazon was starting to scale with a lot of these big brands, and it might not have had enhanced brand content, which is if you're a trademark brand and you apply for Amazon brand registry, you were able to have enhanced brand content on your site, and essentially a store within a store at the bottom of the page. And many of these brands that we're working with are trademarked and are registered. And this is an opportunity. We've seen gains north of 50% when content optimizations go into effect. So in this case, we saw $2 million of potential volume to be had. So you stack that up and you take a brand that's 1P of $4 million, you apply volume that exists in the marketplace of $5 million, plus you look at the optimization assumption of $2 million, you have a business that quite honestly could go from $4 million and add an additional $7 million. You essentially can 2x plus the volume. So as we look at hunting and where to hunt, it's very useful to know where to hunt and how to hunt. So I hope you found this somewhat useful as you pursue your Amazon optimizations and growth. And if there's any questions that could be answered, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.